Welcome to CosmicRx Radio, a podcast that gives you real-life tools of spiritual empowerment and pure hype. I'm your host and intuitive guide, Madi Murphy. Hello, my babies. Welcome back to another episode of CosmicRx Radio. This week, the sky is serving major plot twists, psychic upgrades. It's saying basically, let me help you decode the signs, trust the vibes, because magic is real and you are made of magic. You are real, but let's show you how to connect those cosmic dots. And that is also exactly what I am going to do on today's episode. So let's buckle up, buttercups. We got a lot going on. I want to help you live in sync with the stars and your highest self. It's your girl, Madi Murphy, your high vibe hype woman, your messy metaphysician. We got this week, oh my God, we got a full supermoon. First of 3 supermoons in Taurus. We got Mars galloping into the sign of the auspicious Archer, Sagittarius, a sign I personally love Mars in because it's my own. And we have, Mercury stationing retrograde. Uranus is doing some wild stuff. So grab your moon water, get a pencil and a pen, take a deep breath, and let's talk about how to ride these cosmic waves like the champ, like the main character you are and you are here to be. Okay, first things first. We got to get into the Virgo announcements. We got to get into the housekeeping of it all because we have a lot of exciting offerings. As you know, we are always working here at Cosmic RX to, like I like to say, democratize magic, make things accessible to you. I don't think that spirituality, understanding your highest self, your highest levels of consciousness, should need you to work with a guru or travel to faraway lands for expensive retreats or buy all of the fakata accessory. Like I said, magic is real. Magic exists inside of you, but we do need some tools, support, reminders on how to bring it out. So one of the things that we are offering for the Scorpio season is a very special shadow work decoded. Okay. So this is very important. Scorpio season is a time of year where the shadow work you do can have benefits that you reap that ripple out for the rest of the year. I have done this now for almost a decade with myself, family, and clients, and it is mind blowing the absolute positive changes that can occur if you go deep in Scorpio season. So if you've been noticing the same lessons, the same patterns, the same freaking people, but in different meat suits keep showing up. Yeah, babe, that's not bad luck. You're not cursed. That's just you living in your shadow. And there's a lot of talk on the internet about shadow work, but a few things. I think journal prompts are great, but I do think shadow work has to be part ritual, part energetic, part shamanic, because you're literally bringing parts of yourself back into the fold. And also astrology can help you decode your shadow work, because how do you do journal prompts? How do you talk about who your shadow is, what your shadow needs, if you don't know who your shadow is, who your shadow be? It is subconscious. It's unconscious. So anyway, it's a 5-day course. Each day you're going to get short audios, journal prompts, rituals, again, some astrological insight that anyone can do at any level that can really make deep healing accessible and, dare I say, a little fun. Okay, we get a little playful in there. So yeah, check it out in the show notes or go to cosmicrx.com/shadow work. And, really do gift that to yourself this Scorpio season. You're not going to regret it, because once you decode your shadow, you unlock your true manifesting power. And that's on business. Secondly, if you are in New York City, Sunday, November 3rd, okay, that is 1-1-2-3, I am hosting a very special workshop that has been requested, and I just was waiting for the right person, the right time to align with to do it. We are hosting a workshop called Rituals for the Revolution at Forrester's Cafe in Brooklyn. BK represent. This one is for my witches, my healers, my warriors of frickin' light who want to go feral against fascism, who want to help usher us in this revolution in a joyful reimagining, and do it from the spiritual place. So you can also feel grounded, clear. We have to do everything, right? We have to take actionable steps here on earth. And we also have to use the spiritual, energetic, conscious tools that will actually give us the edge over these tacky ass oppressors. So it's going to be 90 minutes. You're going to leave with a shit ton of tools. You're going to leave with in-person community. And that is just like power up, like Super Mario Brothers. Like we are powering up when we're together. And you're going to actually go through a little energetic shift yourself. So come get a little healing, a little clearing, and get armed, right, with that spiritually rooted tools, approaches to fighting fascism. I'm talking about somatic practices, spell work, astrological activism, community healing. We're going to call forth our power, okay? We're going to transmute and alchemize despair into devotion, into kick-assery. So let's do it. Let's leave anchored, activated, and maybe with a few new coven mates. And again, that link is in the show notes. You can find it on my Instagram as well. And last, but definitely not least, if you are feeling called 2026 to be the year that you own your multidimensional power as a leader, ring, ring, answer the phone. The cosmic call is calling. Join me in Krippalo in the Berkshires, January 8th through the 11th. I'm going to be hosting it with my super house force of nature of a friend, bestie. We went to shaman school together, priestess Iset. This is really for the artists, the visionaries, the thought leaders, the disruptors, the entrepreneurs who want to lead and do things from a different way and are craving a deep reset, a deep going into their power and understanding everything from, the sacred hot girl healing to astrology to getting a community of like-minded people to move forward with the next, for the next year. Okay. So remember your magic, refill your cup, return home to yourself, get in on that. So let's go into the moon now. The moon report. This is your emotional weather. I am just like your astrological anchor woman. And this is the part where I need like a green screen of the emotional weather for the week. Let's talk to Bob in the studio about the weather. Lunar living, Monday, November 3rd to Tuesday, November 4th until about 4:16 p.m. We have an Aries moon, okay? So these are your do's and your don'ts, your self-care for alignment. Everything comes from the inner world. Your moon is your inner world. So these are days you're going to feel ready to take action. Move your body. Say yes to something bold. Take care of business. Just get it done. Don't overthink it. The thing we're going to look out for in these days is letting impatience or even ego or your temper drive your decisions. We still want to feel grounded. We want to feel regulated. And I want you to think about like your courage being your compass. I want you to tap into some kind of courage these days to do something, to start something or do something differently. Tuesday the 4th, like I said, 4:16 p.m. East Coast time to Thursday the 6th. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have a Taurus moon, and the Taurus full moon is direct on November 5th. So I'm going to get more into that. This is a big ass full moon. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but I do want you to think about Taurus always is inviting us to slow down, to get into our body, to enjoy stillness as its own sacred medicine, okay, to indulge our senses, to tune into our values, our sense of security, the physical world, and of course, into letting ourselves be guided by pleasure instead of pressure, which I talk about in key 2 of my book. So this is it, right? We're just not going to. We're going to feel it's a full moon. We might feel called to change, to let go, to make a shift. So we're not going these days to cling to what's comfortable. We're not going to overspend. It's a super full moon in Taurus. It can have us, getting a little out of pocket in our pocket. And we're also going to think about like trying to not be stubborn in that, if there's a situation and you feel like you're absolutely right, and you might be, but part of our human experience is to meet people where they're at, to practice a little fluidity and flexibility, whether it's seeing someone's side of something or just being flexible as plans in life inevitably shift and don't go quote unquote our way. And this mantra I want you to think about for the full moon for these days is I am rooted, I am worthy. Done. Period. Thursday on the 6th, starting at 3:21 East Coast time till Saturday the 8th around 3 p.m., we have a Gemini moon. Okay. So now we're going to think about journaling, talking things out, exploring new ideas. We're just not going to scatter our energy. Our energy the more we dilute it, the more we dilute it, right? So don't say yes to things you don't mean. And just being mindful of what you're saying yes to, check your priorities. And a mantra for these days, Thursday into Saturdays, curiosity connects me to clarity. I love that, especially for like an end of the week. Like get curious on how, things went in the week. Get curious about your own behaviors. Get curious out in the world. I've been really loving, I feel like since Uranus moved into Gemini, really getting curious in my own neighborhood, just chatting people up, connecting with the local, coffee shop, local restaurant people, local bookstore people. And then Saturday into Sunday evening, we're going to be in a Cancer moon days. So this is a perfect way to end the week. We're going to rest, we're going to nest, we're going to nourish. I would love for you to make a nourishing, warming, heart-warming soup. I just made, granted it was a chili, so it's a little different. I made a chili last Sunday, and just the meditative process of chopping the vegetables, simmering it, filling my belly with something like protein rich, full of veggies, warm, and just showing up for myself, and doing that and for my family was so beautiful. So I intend to do that again on Sunday. And we're just we're going to look out for taking everything personally. Okay. Like Cancer moon days, we can get very tender. We can jump down into the depth of the ocean, especially with the Scorpio sun there, when our emotions, we feel a little bit emotionally unsafe or something happens that triggers us. Our tenderness is fine, but we don't have to take every feeling as a hard and fast truth, right? And so a mantra for this day would be, I create comfort within myself. And remember that Cancer key in the book, I need what I need, and I don't want to apologize for it. Okay, honey, baby girls, baby boys, baby astro babies, we are getting into planetary planning, and I'm rubbing my eyes if you're not watching me on YouTube, because this is wild. Okay, this is the tea. The tea is piping hot. There are so many transits, lowercase t, capital T, and I'm going to give you tiny rituals, Cosmic RX's action steps that can help you shift everything and really have this astrology work with you, right? Astrology is just a technology. In my opinion, it's one of the greatest technologies to co-create your life on purpose. But it's like technology. It's not good or bad. It's just a tool. It's what we choose to do with it, right? It's how we choose to tap in. So let's see. The big headlines of the week, November 4th, Mars moves into Scorpio. November 5th, we got a full moon, supermoon in Taurus. The next day, November 6th, Venus moves into Scorpio. November 7th, Uranus is going to retrograde. It is retrograde and is going to re-enter Taurus until February 2026. And that will probably be the last time, maybe not in our lifetimes, but probably my lifetime, because the next time Uranus is going to Taurus is going to be 20. Is that what we're calling that year? That sounds so weird. But yeah, so we are going to think about that. And then we have, of course, November 9th, Mercury is going to retrograde in Sagittarius. So we are officially in the shadow, and Mercury retrograde is coming. Let's just dot those I's, cross those T's, and just say, universe, do what you please. We will not take ourselves too seriously, but also be gentle, please. So leading up to those dates, those are the big headlines. But we have some other things. I just want to point out, on November 3rd, Mars is going to trine Neptune. And this is going to happen again in a series. So I want you just to trust your gut, right? We have Mars trining Neptune as it goes into as it goes into Sagittarius. Ahead of that, it's in Scorpio, and then Neptune in Pisces. This is a very highly psychic, high peak day for download. The vibe is the vibes are strong, the veil is thin, is what I'm trying to say there. It took me a minute to get that out. Whenever I talk about Neptune, I swear I get like marble mouth, very on brand. So I want you to think about, pull a tarot card, journal on a dream that's been lingering, meditate near water, and honestly, like a shower or your tub, or like me, your way too tiny New York City tub, those all count. If you are feeling pulled towards a person or a project, follow that nudge, take one step in that direction. And I want you to set intentions for aligned passion, not impulsive reactions, but aligned passion. And this is like divine timing energy. We don't have to question or nitpick every sign. There is something about trusting where you're being led on this day. Okay, November 4th. This is very exciting. We have Mars is moving into Sagittarius. And when Mars moves into Sag, it really is such an invitation for bold moves, big bold moves, right? We have the Scorpio sun. Mars in Sag wants us to take action that feels inspiring, that feels like it connects us to a bigger picture, to a bigger truth. Mars in Sag wants us to also remember that life is fun, that we can be playful. Actually, we do our best work when we're playing, we're having healthy competition with ourselves. Mars in Sag is my personal Mars placement, and it is one of my favorite things about my chart because I'm very watery, I'm very earthy, and I think without my Mars in Sag, I would go into a little bit of soggy puddle mud vibes. And this lasts until December 15th. So I want you to think about during this time, adventure. Adventure. Is there an adventure you're being called to take next? Is there being a calling of somewhere where you can go? Mars and Sag is going to light your fire for travel, expansion, visionary projects, and Cosmic RXs to take during this time from November 4th until December 15th, like book that class trip or some kind of collaboration that stretches you out of your comfort zone. This is big out of comfort zone into cosmic zone time, right? I want you to do something, read something, or take a course, something that expands your world view beyond your small little narrow walls of your life. I would love for you to move your body in a joyful, freedom filled way. Dance, run, skip, spin. Mars and Sag is a very sexy placement. I'm not just saying that because it's me. But there's something like this energizing, exciting, it's like flirtatious, it's passionate. And so I would love to have you do something that connects you to that mojo and get curious of what that is, okay? And dream big and let your actions reflect a deep connection to faith over fear in your life, okay? No playing small, only dreaming big when Mars is in Sag. Then right from there, we have November 5th, full moon, full supermoon in Taurus, 8:19 a.m. East Coast time at 13 degrees of Taurus. This feels, first of all, just intuitively, I'm getting such feminine energy from this moon, like feminine uprising, speaking up, speaking out. It's at 13 degrees. Taurus is also very connected to the womb space. So supermoon is going to equal super clarity, big revealing. And this one in Taurus, ruled by Venus, is all about values, money, pleasure, embodiment. And we're going to expect, look back to what was going on. Look back to what was going on 6 months ago. I'm going to pull up the exact date for you so you don't have to look it up yourself. But look at what's going on in the new moon in Taurus in the springtime. What were the seeds that you were planting? What were the new intentions that were beginning? That's April 27th, 2025. What themes were arising, especially around stability, grounding, worthiness, reconnecting with one's senses, natural rhythms, nature, abundance. And I would love for you to look back and see what's culminated in those 6 months. I would love for you to light a pink or green or golden candle and write a gratitude list for the really tangible blessings in your life. And as a way of saying thank you, and also I'm ready for more, or to hold even more. Full moon in Taurus is a great time to clean your physical space, to clear out maybe also clean beauty items, upgrade outdated or expired skincare or beauty products and upgrade them, or indulge in just something luxurious, like your senses are really sacred right now, and journal on or pull cards on, what am I done tolerating? What's worth my energy now? And celebrate that slow success, the kind that lasts, and help you remember what you value, and what you value, you create more of. So really reflecting on that. And if you want to go deeper with those rituals, as you know, we always have a special, beautiful PDF and our Cosmic RX premium membership. And this is also great for you if you want to host your own circles or you do your own facilitating, healing, or space holding work. But this full moon is a big one, and I'm sure we're going to see on the collective big things being revealed, secrets coming up to the surface around money, around power, around sexuality, sensuality, or not sensuality, probably just abuse of sexuality. Let's be honest. So I'm curious, in the collective, everything from the big beautiful bill to the Epstein of it all to what's happening with the government shutdown, is probably going to be another culmination around that. And this is going to be a big week for some bigger, larger collective themes coming up because of Uranus retrograde re-entering Taurus for the last time. I'll get into that in a minute. But then the next day after this full moon in Taurus, after you're feeling embodied in your body, after you're feeling connected to your values, to your vision, to that Venusian energy, Venus is going to switch signs. So the ruler of this full moon, while it's still in that full moon energy, that full moon glow, because we know we have the 3 days before or after to connect into that full moon energy, Venus is going to switch signs into Scorpio. So it's going to join the sun, it's going to oppose this full moon, and it's going to ask you to go really deep with your sense of desire. It's going to ask you to go really deep in your sense of sexiness, spiciness. Venus in Scorpio craves depth. and demands intimacy, truth, and raw passion from ourselves. And opposite the supermoon, it might start off the energy of this Venus in Scorpio by bringing up shadows, right? Like jealousy, anger, sadness, whatever we want to call it, like around this concept of love or money. That's why, again, this is such a heightened time to do shadow work, because until you're aware of your shadows, until you integrate them, you're going to be manifesting from a place of lack, and that just does not work. Okay. So I invite you to think about on these days, let me see, Venus and Scorpio, that will go until that's November 6th, December 24th. And this would be a great time, November 6th, December 24th, really thinking about getting in touch with your deeper needs, wants, desires without judging them. Noticing where jealousy comes up. Can we transmute, right? Triggers into glimmers? Can we stop resisting on the parts of ourselves that we think are unlovable? This is a great time to do like eye gazing work. I talk about that in our shadow work mini course about doing mirror work. You can also do it with a partner. I would love for you to do something that gets you, moving your hips and moving your lips, like breathing into your sacral chakra, dance, movement, just getting into that like more somatic place with your sexuality, with your sensuality. Venus and Scorpio too, like, can we experiment with our aesthetics? Can we play around with something that feels like outwardly really sensual and sexy to us, right? Like black lace, leather, a little lingerie, a little red lip. I went to an amazing talk where I got to co-host an amazing talk last week about the Joy Toy from this company, Pussy Economics. They're an all female sensual sexual empowerment fueled media company, and they are funded by a vibrator. And we got to have a really fun conversation around just owning our pleasure, owning our sensuality. And there is always that just feels like, if you've been raised in that good girl culture, right? It can feel kind of like, ooh, weird to talk about, or like tee hee hee, but it's so powerful. Your pleasure is so powerful. So I encourage you with this Venus and Scorpio to go there, but to avoid control games, choose transparency over power plays, choose intimacy as your form of intensity versus like trying to own or control someone. Seduce life, seduce the universe by flirting with it, but also with your honesty and being so clear. And maybe you can journal on, what am I ready to finally stop hiding about my desires? Okay, the hits just keep coming. November 7th, Uranus is going to go retrograde. Sorry, Uranus is retrograde, and it's going to re-enter Taurus. And this is going to stay until February 2026. This is like the revolution we've been in around money, values, nature. This is the final round. Okay. So this is the last of our lifetime. Again, unless you're like maybe really, like me, maybe less, less numbers in your years than me. If you're like 20, 30, maybe, no, probably like 20, you might live through this again. But this is the last big one of our, coming of age life. And for me, the last one of my lifetime. So this is a revolution on financial systems, resources, self-worth, nature. This has changed a lot for us, and everything from our food source, everything from our spending, everything from our connection to money, to art. I mean, during Uranus and Taurus, we've had everything from cryptocurrency to Venmo become part of our everyday life. We've had just huge shifts and changes in natural disasters, climate change. Heck, even our five senses went through a change during COVID. COVID also changed so much about real estate and where we live, which is very Taurus. They're kind of opening that up. And I think in these last days, we're going to see some interesting things on the world front. Uranus and Taurus can bring, like economic upheavals. So we all know, but like, we just want to be really smart with our resources, whether that's voting with our dollar or whether that's just saving, putting money away as much as we can, or choosing to buy local, grow our own food, support each other, mutual aid, community aid. Like Uranus and Taurus is really having us think way differently around all these concepts. So your cosmic RXs during this last bit of Uranus moving through Taurus can be, auditing your spending. Is there anywhere where you're leaking energy you don't want to? It could be simplifying your routines and returning to what feels truly nourishing, truly grounding for you. Exploring alternative income streams, or sustainability swaps, circular economical models in your community, and really asking, like, where am I ready to redefine freedom and security? Okay, this is your cue to close out a revolution that's been brewing since 2018 around, stability that also supports your soul. Then into November 9th, Mercury is retrograding. Yikes, here we go. And I only say yikes because as a Mercury ruled person, I always get hit with a Mercury retrograde energy early. And it is hilarious. It is almost like downright silly, the things that happen to me. So Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, this will be here November 9th through the 29th. And we're calling this the blurt alert. Okay. Someone dropped that in our community because in Sag is already that sign that it's like, whoops, I didn't mean to say that, but I did. Or I was just yapping too much. The lips were flapping. And now I said something I didn't mean to, whether that was spilling tea or just, speaking out of turn. So this is it, right? Because Sagittarius wants us to be truth tellers, but Sagittarius is that line of like blunt honesty versus truth telling. And like sometimes the blunt honesty can be a little like too much for people or maybe not appropriate. So Mercury retrograde might be like open mouth, insert foot. So I'm going to encourage you to, of course, think before you speak, think before you post, pause before you post. Pause before you click send on a text. Always good Mercury retrograde to do. Do back up your files. Give yourself little breathing room moments in your schedule. And then when in doubt, I want you to say less or speak through art and ritual. Instead, Mercury and Sag retrograde is a great time to get in your body through moving meditations or actual meditations to see what wants to come through. And then maybe notice, like, is there anywhere where I'm speaking at people instead of with them? And this is also going to be a big one for your travel plans, right? We're in the holiday season, which is always kooky travel with Mercury retrograde. And we know because of the government shutdown, air traffic controllers are not being paid, but they have to go to work. I think same thing with TSA. So like if you're flying, you're going to want to leave yourself a lot of time, a lot of breathing room. And I would say, see the magic in the mess, because when we can expect magic in the mess, more magic can appear. You can see the reroutes, the rejections, the detours can all be part of the magic if we let it. And remember, the Mercury retrograde is not here to punish you. It's usually to help you listen deeper, to slow down, to laugh at yourself and to find some sort of cosmic energy that exists when you release a little bit of control. Okay, so a lot there, and we can go deeper into Mercury retrograde. And we have a ton of, resources and things in our blog and posts we've done in the past about Mercury retrograde. But just remember, as we move through this powerful week from that sensual, big ass supermoon, Taurus full moon, to the fiery Mars and Sag energy, to just recapping this whole Uranus and Taurus era, I want you to remember and think about, like, the universe isn't testing you. It's training you. It's training you for this moment in time. It's helping you meet this moment in time. Every curveball, every detour, every freaking weird ass WTF or deja vu moment is your soul saying, like, let's knock this out of the park. Let's do this differently this time. Let's rise to this moment, okay? And let's see what happens when we turn to face the cosmos, how the cosmos can turn to face us. And we can remember, right, that we are the co-creators of our own life. So stay grounded, stay curious, stay in your cosmic zone, as always, my cutie, where your flow meets, your purpose, alignment, embodiment, and your magic actually lands. I'll see you next week, same time, same stars. Until then, go out there, shake your booty, make some miracles, and I'm sending you blessings for those big fat checks and hot fulfilling toe curling sex, especially under this Scorpio sun and Taurus moon we have coming up. Do you love getting your Cosmic RX for the week here and want more? Make sure to sign up for our premium subscription so you can get exclusive access to bonus podcast episodes, all of my astrology info for the month ahead, and live new and full moon calls to help you manifest your dream life with an intentional international community of other cosmic baddies. Sign up through our link in show notes. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you want to know more about CosmicRx, head on over to thecosmicrx.com. And if you really love this show, I'd love it if you left a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. I super love hearing from you and reading your reviews. All right, you cosmic baddie, tune in next week. And until then, remember, love yourself fully, work your magic, and take no shit.